Welcome to Aligned Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda, and I'll be guiding our practice today. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to be doing a back bending practice. So we'll be doing some strengthening, but we'll also be doing some more challenging poses. So listen to your body, use props, make adjustments, make the practice work for your body. I have a friend of mine who has recently moved to Washington State. And while she was staying at her aunt's house as their home was getting ready, she noticed that from day to day, the view out the window completely changed. Her aunt has this incredible view of Mount Olympus. And some days the view was crystal and the mountain just shone majestically in the distance. And other days the fog was so thick that you can't see the mountain at all. Oftentimes, I think we view fog as a negative thing, a barrier, something that we need to get through. But I think sometimes God puts fog in our lives so that we can cling to Him, listen to Him, and find more clarity. The psalmist says this in Psalm 73, I am continually with you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel. And afterward, you will receive me to glory. I am continually with you. God is with us even in the foggiest of times. Find a sitting position. Find your sitting bones. Maybe prop your hips up just a couple of inches. Closing your eyes, find breath. And begin to inhale deeply down the body, inhaling into the lungs and the rib cage and the diaphragm muscle. Exhaling up the body. And as you sit there, eyes closed, breathing slowly and deeply, I'm going to read to you from Jesus Calling, written by Sarah Young for November 16th. As you look at the day before you, you see a twisted, complicated path with branches going off in all directions. You wonder how you can possibly find your way through that maze. And then you remember the one who is with you always, holding you by your right hand. You recall my promise to guide you with my counsel, and you begin to relax. As you look again at the path ahead, you notice that a peaceful fog has settled over it, obscuring your view. You can see only a few steps in front of you, so you turn your attention more fully to me, and you begin to enjoy my presence. The fog is a protection for you, calling you back into the present moment. Although I inhabit all of space and time, you can communicate with me only here and now. And someday the fog will no longer be necessary, for you will have learned to keep your focus on me and on the path just ahead of you. Continuing to breathe deeply and evenly, feel the peace of the fog envelop you. Check in physically, noticing the way that your body is responding to this pose. What is comfortable, what is uncomfortable? Where are you holding tension today? Notice where you are mentally as well. How do you respond to fog? Do you embrace it? Do you fear it? Do you push through it? Can you rest in it? Invite the Holy Spirit to be your guide, to hold your hand throughout the practice, to give you wisdom, to guide your movement and your breath. Let your hands come down to your side, and on your next inhale, bring your arms up and overhead, and exhaling, bring the hands down. And then bring the hands up, but this time go ahead and gently twist to the right. And come back to center, hands to either side. And inhale up and gently twist to the left. And bring the hands to either side. And so 2 more times like that. Right to left, right to left. And each time feel the shift of the pose. What else can you release? How does the range of motion change? Are you leading with breath? And as you're ready, meet me at center. Bring the hands out to the side and exhaling, keeping the hips in place. Just gently round the back. And then come into cow. So it's just a very subtle tilt of the hips, drawing the navel in, curving the spine, and then finding that arc in the back. And 2 more times here, seated cat to seated cow. As you're ready, bring those hands forward and interlace the fingers and bring the backs of the hands towards me and tuck the chin. Then just gently bring that right shoulder forward and lift it up and look underneath your arm. And then come to center and press the palms forward, hands still interlaced. Bring the arms up and overhead and reach as high as you can. And then glide the shoulders down and just look up and look down. And bring the hands back out to the side and drop them down behind you. And fingers lightly to the floor behind you. Begin to open up across the chest. And maybe come into a slightly deeper cow as you find your support here. And then release, and sitting up straight, interlace the fingers awkwardly and bring the backs of the hands towards me and tuck your chin. Find that seated cat. And this time the left shoulder comes forward, and again, lift it up just a bit and look underneath. And as you're ready, back at center, press the palms forward and reach all the way up, 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 up. And let the shoulders glide down, and the navel draws in, and the hands come behind. And this time, take the hands to that sacrum bone right at the base of the spine. And find cow from here. And release. Come off any props, bring props towards the front edge of the mat and meet me in table. And still warming up, spread your fingers wide and create a little pocket of air in the palm of the hand. Imagine the eyes of the elbows drawing in towards each other, the shoulder blades externally rotating, shoulder blades gliding down the side of the back. And then exhale and draw the navel in and meet me in cat. And round up and meet me in cow. And back and forth here, cat to cow. Just noticing the curves of your spine. What feels good? Where can you find release? One more time, cat to cow. As you're ready, meet me back at table. Go ahead and take your right leg back behind you. Flex the foot and begin to just roll over onto the top of the foot. And again, just make any modifications that you need to for your foot or your ankle. But maybe you can come all the way over to the entire top of that foot. Let that heel press back. And then as you're ready, just keep that foot flexed and float the leg up parallel to the floor, and then bend at the knee so that the foot presses up, and just press that foot up towards the sky and just pulse it, maybe 6 or 7 times. And then keep the foot pressed up and maybe draw the foot in a little bit more and relax the foot. And if you choose to, go ahead and sweep that left hand around and catch the foot and press the foot against the hand and the hand against the foot. Begin to open up across the chest as you begin to find a little bit of an arch in that back. And then as you're ready, release and meet me in table. And from table, take that left hand in front of the right and that right elbow back towards the knee and gently come into a child's pose. Just lengthening through the spine, looking underneath that extended arm. And find your breath. And let the head hang heavy. As you're ready, rise back up. So this time, take that left foot back behind you, coming to the top of the foot, rolling over the toes, stretching through the calf muscle, finding release in the foot itself and the ankle. And then as you're ready, again, just flex the foot, float the leg up parallel to the sky. Bend at the knee, foot presses to the ceiling. Just use the glute muscles as you pulse up. And then just keep that foot pressed up, but now relax the foot a bit. Bring that right arm around if you choose to. Reach for the foot. Again, maybe you're holding the outside of the foot or the top of the foot or the inside of the foot. Just open up across the chest. Draw the navel in, support the pose. One more breath here. And as you're ready, release. And bring that knee down. And gently and slowly draw back to child with an exhale. And stay in child for a breath. And then rise up into table and bring that right hand in front of the left and the left elbow towards that left knee. Extend, and maybe you can find that stretch up and down the right side of the body. And just imagine Jesus gently taking that front hand, just guiding you softly and slowly a little further forward with the fingertips. And as you're ready, release and meet me in table. Bring your hands one handprint forward, engage through the abdominals as you draw down into a kneeling plank and slowly come to the mat. And bring the forearms to the side and press through the hands and inhale up and open up the rib cage and exhale down. And can you press through the tops of your feet as your collarbone rises and exhale back. And one more time. And as you're ready, come up into Sphinx pose and begin to find the work in the pose as you imagine the elbows drawing back towards the hips and the hip points drawing forward and up. And can you find a deep breath? And one more breath here. And as you're ready, exhale and come down and bring the hands to the rib cage and meet me in table. And then gently from table, come back to child. And twice more, kneeling plank to the mat, sphinx to child, your breath, your pace. One more time through. No hurry. Today, just content to move slowly forward. One step at a time. Meet me in child and stay there for 3 breaths. Let the head hang heavy. Maybe the forehead comes all the way down to the mat and you massage it out. And as you're ready, rise up into table and big toes together. Take those knees out wide. Bring your one hand print forward and hips above knees, and gently draw the rib cage down and the forehead down. And find breath. And stay here. 2 more breaths. And that next inhale, press into the hands and bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And one knee at a time, bring the knees back in underneath the hips and curling the toes under. Bring the knees up to that rib cage and shake your head out no. And yes. And find the length in the neck. And begin to pedal through your feet and move your hips. As you're ready, take a deep breath in and let the heels rise, and exhale and let the heels fall. And just notice, what is downward dog doing today, and what is tight and what feels fairly flexible. And make any adjustments you need to, maybe turning the first fingers towards the front corners of the mat, creating a little wrist release. Maybe pressing those heels down a little more, those thighs back a little more. And on the next inhale, let the right leg rise. And draw the gaze forward and bring the foot all the way through, and let that back knee drop down and up. So back and forth here, down and up. And then as you're ready, just let that back knee come down and rise all the way up, top of that foot to the floor in the back. And then exhaling, just give yourself a hug, nose to knee, and come back up again. And 2 more times here. And then bring the hands down to the small of the back and press into that sacrum bone and open up across the chest, and gaze comes to the sky. And inhaling, let the arms come up wide. And then exhaling, hands come to either side of the foot, curl the toes under in the back, extend that back leg up. Press into your left hand and find a gentle twist as that right hand reaches to the sky, stacking one hand on top of the other. And find breath. And then sweep that arm all the way down in a circle, all the way around to either side of the foot. Bring the front foot to the back. Meet me in a full plank. And let the knees drop down, and let's think about grasshopper today. So maybe you're still in a low plank, but maybe you want a little more flexibility in the back. So you're just going to bend the elbows and drop the chest down till it's just about 3 inches above the floor, right between those thumbs. Elbows stay below the shoulders. Come up into your low cobra. Come back to child. And meet me in downward facing dog. And again, this time the left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through those hands. Maybe you're using blocks on either side of the foot for a little more length with those arms, a little more support. That back knee just dropping down and up. Just a little tap onto the mat. And then as you're ready, let that back knee come down, top of the foot to the mat, sweep all the way up, arms high. And then exhale, and again, just nose to knee, give yourself that hug, and come up. So the arms will just come down and, embrace that leg. And one more time. And then bring those hands behind to the small of that back and give yourself the support and begin to open up across the chest and gaze to the sky. And can you keep the abdominals engaged, the hip points lifting up and forward? And as you're ready, release, and those hands come all the way over to either side of the foot. But this time, lift the back leg, press into that right hand. Gentle twist as that left arm comes up. I was starting to get ahead of myself there. So find your gentle twist. Imagine the inner thighs drawing in together. And as you're ready, bring that arm down around either side of the foot and bring the back foot up to meet the front, knees bent. Begin to find length in the spine as you hold on to your elbows and gently just move side to side. Stay in forward fold. Begin to drop the hips and lift the hips. And find the forward fold that works best for you today in this moment. And notice, where are you tight? Where are you still holding tension? Can the back of the head come a little closer to the mat? Hands to shins. Bring the back up parallel to the floor. Exhale down. And pressing to the feet, rise all the way up, mountain pose. And exhale, hands to the small of your back. Begin to pressing to the sacrum, open up across the front of the body. And just see yourself in that low cobra. Imagine that the quadriceps and the abs are still pressing forward into that mat. That upper body, that collarbone reaching up and back. And then on that next inhale, the arms rise, and exhale, hands to heart. So stay here for just a moment. Check in. Notice any sensations in the body. Feet hip width apart. Pressing evenly at the base of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Reach the arms all the way up. Hold on to that left wrist as you gently come over to the right side, pressing through that left foot. Just creating some length in the spine. Go the other direction. Bending your knees, bring forearms to thighs. Stay here for a breath. How much length can you find in the spine? And then exhale and meet me in forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back, and then the other. Meet me in plank. And from plank, come all the way down to the mat. So take the feet just a little wider than the hips, the arms forward. And press into the forearms and press into the feet. And tighten up the quadriceps and bring the knees towards the hips. And then raise that right arm and that left leg as you press the rest of the body down into the mat and release. And then the other side. And can you work from the center out, starting with the bend at that lower back? Find the range of motion that's right for you. Can you keep the abdominals engaged? And 2 more times. Right and left, right and left. And then as you're ready, just cross your forearms one on top of the other and rest your head on your forearms and turn your cheek to the side and just wiggle your hips. And turn your cheek the other direction. And bring the hands back to your rib cage and come back to child. And from child, find downward facing dog. Go ahead and lift that right leg all the way up and draw the gaze forward and bring the foot all the way through and bring your back foot to warrior one stance and sweep all the way up into warrior one. And keep the hips and the shoulders facing forward and the abdominals in and the ribs soft. And then straighten out that front leg and bring that right hand to thigh and just reach all the way forward and down and then back up again. And a few more times here, just decompressing the spine. And then as you're ready, find that warrior one again, and that front knee is right over that ankle, and that weight is on the outside edge of that back foot, and the hips are facing forward. And bring the hands behind you, and just press into the spine and find that back bend again. So you're pressing into the sacrum below the spine, that flat bone that connects the tailbone to the vertebra. And then release, the hands come all the way up. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, fold your body forward over that bent leg, and let the head come down towards the mat as the arms rise. So if this doesn't work for your shoulders, maybe you're just holding onto the elbows, or maybe you're still pressing into that sacrum bone. Release the tension in the neck, shaking out the head. And as you're ready, unwind the hands and reach all the way up into the warrior and hands to heart. And step the back foot up to meet the front, feet hip width apart, find mountain pose and check in. And maybe one side of the body feels just a little bit longer than the other. Taking a deep breath in, bring the arms up, but this time find chair pose. So you're just going to sink your hips. Begin to drop the hips down just a little bit more. Draw the belly in, collarbone up. And then hands together. Exhale, hands to heart and all the way down. And find forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway, exhale down. Meet me in plank. From plank, choose, maybe you're coming down to the mat in grasshopper, maybe now you're into chaturanga. And if you're in upward facing dog, you're just on your hands and your feet, those hip bones reaching forward and up, the abdominals tight, navel drawing into the spine. And then as you're ready, curl the toes under and meet me in downward facing dog. And find your stretch and find your release and check in. And the same thing on the other side. So now the left leg rises up. And the gaze comes forward and the foot comes all the way through, and that back foot is flat on the mat, angled towards the outside edge. Meet me in warrior one, hips and shoulders forward. Straightening out that front leg, left hand to thigh. Begin to reach that right arm as far as you can and come down. And come back up again. Exhale as you come down. Draw the abdominals in and support with that crunch as you come down. One more time. And as you're ready, that other hand comes up and you lunge forward again and find that beautiful warrior one. And take the hand to the small of the back, find your back bend. Nudging the glutes down into that relaxed position, and the abdominals are strong, stretching as you open up the chest. And interlace the fingers, maybe awkwardly this time if that works for you, and come over the leg. Let the head come down, humble warrior. And can you do this without resting all of your weight on that leg? So there's still some strength in those abdominals. You're kind of holding the pose with those core muscles. The head shakes no and yes. And as you're ready, engaging through the abdominals, exhale, unlace the fingers, come all the way back into that warrior one. Hands to heart. Back foot comes up to meet the front. Mountain pose. Closing your eyes, check in. Notice what's going on. Deep breath in, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Come down into your forward fold. Stay in forward fold. Gently draw that right arm forward, that left arm in a gentle twist across the leg. Begin to just gently release any tension in the back and in the muscles on either side of the spine. And then go the other direction. And then come back to center. Just let the head and the hands hang down. Engaging through the abdominal, hands to shins. Come up one final time, halfway. Exhale down, one foot back and then the other. And however you choose to do it, come all the way to the mat. And take the feet just a little bit wide and create a circle with your first finger and your thumb. And go ahead and place that circle underneath each of those hip bones. And then engaging through the abdominals, press through the tops of the feet, tighten up the quadriceps, and gently bring that upper body up. And release. And one more time in and out of it. And then rise up and stay there. How much length can you find in the neck? How much support can you find in those abs? Working in the muscles of the lower back. And as you're ready, gently come down. Stack your forearms. Turn your cheek to one side and wiggle your hips. Turn your cheeks to the other side and wiggle your hips. And hands to rib cage. Come to table and stay in table for a breath. And can you just restore a neutral position of the spine here? One more inhale. And curl the toes under and meet me in downward facing dog. And stay in downward facing dog for a breath or two. Gently walk your hands towards the center of the mat and bring your right hand to the center of the mat and bring that left arm across that right leg and find a gentle twist. Engage through the abdominals. And then go the other direction. And then as you're ready, keeping those abdominals strong, just walk your feet back to the back edge of the, or your hands back to your feet at the back edge of the mat. Head down, shake your head out no and yes. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down. Pressing through your feet, come all the way up. Hands to heart, check in. Keeping your hands at your heart, press into your left foot. Bring your right foot forward, find a big lunge. Deep breath in, arms rise. Hands to the leg, go ahead and gently nudge the muscles of that leg towards the knee. Extend that back leg up to the sky. And then bend that back knee just a little bit, stacking shoulders over hips. Deep breath in, arms rise. Find a back bend, arms in a Y. Let the shoulder blades glide down, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath here. Then as you're ready, release, hands to heart. Step into that front leg, float the back leg through, knee up. And then bring that heel behind you. Leave the right hand where it is at your chest. Take that left hand and find a quadricep stretch in that leg. Take that right hand forward, thumb and finger together, and begin to press that back foot into the hand, hand into foot. Find a back bend here. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you're ready, just bring the foot down, hands to heart, check in. Notice right side and left side. Are your feet even? Do they feel connected to the mat in the same way? Taking a deep breath in, bring the arms all the way up, bend the knees, bring forearms to thighs. Stay there for 2 breaths, just restoring the spine to a more neutral position. Exhaling, come down to the mat. Shake your head out no and yes. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down. One leg back and then the other. Find your plank. Again, from plank, just come all the way down to the mat. And stay here. Take the legs just a little wide. Take those hands, circling thumb and finger underneath the hip points. This time, raise up that right leg. Again, working from center out, starting with the muscles of the lower back. And then the left leg. And just alternate here, back and forth. Strengthening through the muscles of the lower back, supporting with the abdominals, keeping the muscles of the legs engaged. And we're going to do that once more on each side or twice with both legs lifting at the same time. So you decide. Maybe both legs lift. Maybe just one at a time. And one more time. Inhale those legs high. Exhale to the mat. Stacking your forearms. Bring your forearms in front of you. Rest your cheek on your arms. Gently wiggle your hips side to side. Turn and look the other direction. Same thing. Hands to rib cage, come up into table, meet me in table, stay there for 2 breaths. How much length can you find in your spine? How much strength can you find in table? Curling the toes under, meet me in downward facing dog. Stay here, checking in, noticing right side, noticing left. And this time it's the left leg that rises high. And as the gaze comes forward, the foot comes all the way through in that giant lunge, and you come all the way up. And stay here in your lunge as that knee comes forward. Take the hands to the thighs and gently bring the muscles of the leg towards the knee. Hips are facing forward, abs are in, rib cage is soft. And maybe that back knee bends just a little as shoulders stack over hips. Arms rise. Hands to heart. Pressing into that front foot, bring that back leg all the way through, knee bent, find balance. And then bring the heel behind you. And maybe you can catch the heel or the foot on the inside. Left hand still stays at heart. Finding your quadricep stretch. Maybe that front arm reaches forward to counterbalance as the foot presses into hand, hand into foot. Lifting up and out of the hips, finding the back bend. Raise that front arm just a bit. Raise that back leg. Again, find range of motion that is right for you. And as you're ready, release, bringing the foot down. Hands to heart. Hands come all the way down to your sides. Press into your feet as you raise your heels up. Calf raises. Arms reach for the stars. Find balance. And exhale, hands to heart. Bring the hands down and again rise up. Finding the calf raise. Hands to heart. Last time. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Closing your eyes, check in for 3 slow breaths. Can the feet press down as the crown of the head rises? The next inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bending the knees, forearm to thighs. Stay here for 2 breaths, finding length in the spine. One more inhale. Meet me in forward fold. Shake your head out, no and yes. One leg back and then the other. Meet me in plank. And from plank, come all the way down to the mat. So we are going to work our way into bow pose here. So your option is to simply go where we went before. Upper body lift, lifting the lower legs. But if you'd like to try bow, let's start with the hands down at the hips, thumbs down to the mat, palms facing in. And raise that upper body up and let those arms rise up. And exhale and press the palms down into the mat and let the legs rise up. So legs are straight and release. So finding bow, go ahead and bend that right knee, my right knee, heel to hip. Just hold on to the outside of the foot. And bend the left knee, heel to hip, hand to foot. And then begin to push the feet away from the hands or into the hands, away from the body. So the palms are pushing in and the feet are pushing out and there's traction. And the legs and the chest rise up. And keep the legs towards each other, so don't let them splay out. And find length as the collarbone rises and find that deep, deep back bend. And then exhaling, come down. Gently, legs come down to the mat. Stack the forearms. Cheek to the forearms. Gently wiggle your hips side to side. And go the other direction. Stay here for another breath. Bring hands to rib cage, meet me in table, and stay in table. So again, just restoring this neutral position of the spine, length in the neck, reaching the top of the head towards the front of the room, drawing the hip creases towards that wall behind you. And gently draw back, hips to heels, child's pose. And come in and out of child 3 times, child to table. Ease into it, go slowly. And as you're ready, meet me in child. And stay in child, forearms on the mat in front of you, palms down. Hip creases reaching towards that wall behind you, hips growing heavy on the heels. And stay here for a couple of breaths. One more. And press into your hands and come up to a sitting position. And bring those feet in front of you. And take the feet out wide and gently just drop the knees side to side in a very gentle lower body twist. And then as you're ready, drop both knees over to the right and explore the entire glute muscle there. And as you're ready, find that place that is extra tight or stiff, come beside it and massage it out. And then as you're ready, go up and over to the other side. And same thing here, just massage it out. And go back and forth. Sit up, bring hands to the front of your shins, find a seated cat and a seated cow. Again, just exploring what's going on in your back now, in the rest of your body. And one more time. And as you're ready, release and go ahead and bring a block with you to your hips and come down onto your back. Let's just start with the legs bent and bring your right knee in and gently draw nose to knee and release. And do that twice more. And then extend that left leg, bring that right foot to the inside of that left knee. You're going to maybe need to move your block just a little bit. And you're going to bring that knee across your body into a gentle twist. So my left leg is straight, my right leg is bent, my right knee, foot connected at that bottom knee. And can you keep the shoulder blades and the upper body on the mat? Maybe looking away from the legs. And find the right back release for you, hip release for you. What else can you relax? As you're ready, draw the navel in, come to center. Bring that right foot to the mat. Bring that left knee in, so my right leg is still bent. And then just tucking chin, nose to knee. 2 more times. As you're ready, extend that leg long. Bring the foot to the inside of the knee. Bring the hand across the leg. And gently find your twist. Ease into it. Can both shoulder blades stay on the mat? Can you activate the muscles of that straight leg? Flexing the foot, pushing the heel away from the hips. Take 2 more deep breaths here, adjusting with breath. And as you're ready, draw the belly in and come back to center. And bend both of your knees. Take your feet wide on the mat, knees together. Bring your arms out in cactus and stay here for 2 breaths. And then gently toe heel the feet in, knees hip width apart. Come in and out of bridge twice. So hands to the hips, gently on the mat, gently come up 1 vertebra at a time into your bridge, lifting from the muscles of the tops of the thighs, the quads. And gently come out of it, and 1 more time. Inhale up, exhale out, exhale down. And then as you're ready, take that block nice and flat and bring it just underneath the sacrum bone. So again, above the tailbone, below the spine. And find your supported bridge here. And we've done a lot of back bending today. So if you have a larger natural arch to your back, if it's within your practice and it would feel good, maybe you raise that block up and you find a higher supported bridge. But wherever you are, it should feel good. So there's no sense of stretching or straining for a new pose or a new height. Just let the body melt over the block. Let that back grow heavy. And feel the peace of the fog engulfing you. Take 2 more breaths here. As you're ready, pressing into your hands and into your feet, lift up just enough that you can move that block out of the way and gently come down to the mat. And just stay here and let the back settle for 2 more breaths. And then as you're ready, just bring those knees and feet together. Bring your hands to your knees, the heels of the hands to the tops of the knees, fingers coming down the shins, and knees together, gently make a circle in the sky. And just massage out all around that sacrum bone. Just like a compass hitting north, south, east, and west. And as you're ready, slowly shift to the other side. And gently just draw the knees into the rib cage and push them away, back and forth here. And gently let the feet come to the mat and extend the legs long. Hands to your side, palms up. And one more time, let's wiggle the hips side to side. And bounce the knees a little bit. And windshield wiper the feet. Bring the hands all the way up to the sky, palms facing in, and just let those shoulders thump down a few times. Hands down to hips, palms up. Turn your head side to side from the top of one ear to the top of the other, and rest at center. Eyes closed. Where in your life do you find yourself in the midst of fog? Can you surrender into that? Simply trusting that Jesus is in the midst, holding onto your hand, surely guiding you out of it in His time. Feel the softness of the fog and the comfort of not needing to know what is ahead. Feel peace wash over you. Head, shoulders, down the arms, down the back, over the hips, all the way down to your feet. Gently come back to this time and this space. Reconnecting with your breath, noticing the way that it moves through your body. How has your body settled onto the mat? What is comfortable? Where do you still hold tension? Gently begin to bring back movement. Wiggle fingers and toes, rotate wrists and ankles. Turn your head side to side, the top of one ear up and over, the top of the other. And on that next inhale, let the arms rise up and overhead and reach as long as you can. Fingers to one wall and toes to the other. And as you're ready, draw knees in and roll over onto your side. And find breath. On that next inhale, rise up to a sitting position. Find your sitting bones. Realign. Eyes still closed. Checking in one final time, body, mind, and soul. What has shifted? What has stayed the same? Just noticing. Taking a deep breath in, draw arms up and overhead, reach, and exhaling, hands in prayer, draw hands to heart, bowing your head. Holy God, today we thank you for the fog. We thank you for those times where there is no clarity. We thank you for the peace of not needing to know, of getting comfortable with simply being still and focused on you. We thank you for your presence in the fog, always holding us tightly, always leading us surely. It is in the name of Jesus the Christ that we pray. Amen. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today.